Welcome back everyone for a Team Tory Power Cobra Kai Season 5 Watch Party. Ever since Tory first burst on the scene in the Season 2 trailer, the fans have been Tory crazy. She was mysterious and exciting. She changed the show in a way no one was expecting. There was Tory mania everywhere. For a while after Season 2, all my top performing videos had Tory in the thumbnail. I even realized videos performed better when I put Tory in the thumbnail. A simple fact I would take advantage of on more than a few occasions. What can I say? You clicked on this video too, so obviously it works. Thank you. So out of the gate, she was a hit. People loved her. She had strength in the show and outside of it. The fandom idolized Tory way more than was ever intended by the creative team. Like, I really think she was intended to be viewed as the villain, at least in Season 2. She was rough and no nonsense, always ready to fight. She had a couple of soft moments to flesh her out, but it was at the roller rink where we were supposed to see her true colors. She knocks Sam down, but most importantly, she then deceives Miguel about what happened. Since Miguel is still our focal point, the fact that she's lying to him is supposed to clue the audience in that she is a hothead and can't be trusted. She's the bad guy. If you ever looked around at how so many people described Tory at the beginning of the school fight, you would see people saying things like badass and so cool. People were excited. They loved Paintless, they loved her. But to get a little insight at how the creators were intending this to come off, look at how John Hurwitz describes it.
I really think about the finale of Season 2, the moment she grabs that microphone, how scary she is in threatening Samantha. And
so yeah, literally the only person I ever saw describe Tory as scary anywhere is the show's creator. Also notice how he said,
threatening Samantha. And
now I call her Sam, you call her Sam, every character in the show calls her Sam. Except one person.
No, I just started teaching Samantha and Robbie. I can't quit on day one.
Ah, yes. He views her as a daughter, which explains why he saw Tory as so scary. As they imagined Sam as the hero and never anticipated so many fans disliking her for certain unexplained reasons, they never dreamed so many people would root for Tory. Now, I have been accused of being a Tory defender or Tory apologist, mostly because certain videos, even though I never actually once defended Tory in any of those videos. Actually, in my third ever Cobra Kai video, look back at how I initially described her.
This brings us back to Tory. I've already talked about her, but now with a little more info, we can say for sure. Yes, she is crazy. The main question for this season is going to be what type of crazy and why.
It didn't change much in my Season 2 review.
By the way, what the hell was Tory's plan anyway? She goes MIA after the party, even ignoring Miguel rather than confront him. It's trying to be epic but comes off as cartoonish.
Damn, I was so frustrated with Tory at the end of Season 2. I couldn't contain myself. It was far worse than anything I ever felt about Sam. That was why it was in the season review and not a later video. But Watch Party, why are you giving us all this history on Tory? Well, I'm trying to set the stage for how the character has progressed. Because you see, even though the fans loved Tory, the creators still thought of her as the scary villain. That continued into Season 3. While Episode 2 gave us a glimpse into her home life and backstory, it was then promptly forgotten and never mentioned again. This is similar to Season 2, where we got a little glimpse of her home life, and then it's put aside. That was all so we could have a scary Tory again as the villain in the finale. Now I have a whole video on this fight, which I suggest you watch. All the analysis videos are good, especially if you're a fan digging deeper into the show. But to summarize here, Tory came off as a cartoon character. It was like she was a villain for no reason. This is mostly true in the fight with Sam. This shot was a continuation of what John said in Season 2. She's supposed to be scary. Granted, she looks great. It's a sexy scary. They actually had a little fan to blow her hair. But it's scary nonetheless. This breath from Sam is a clear indication of the intent. You're meant to empathize and root with Sam here. Now season 4 is where things started to take a turn. They were obviously aware they wrote Tory as an almost one-dimensional villain and needed to find a way to pull that back a little, and so began her connection with Amanda. It was rough at first, but ended up bringing Tory to a better place. She was able to get past a lot of her anger and just focus on herself and her family. It got her back in school and made her a sharp competitor at the All Valley. But after her triumphant win, she had a heartbreaking moment where she learned Silver was in league with the head referee. And all that brings us to season 5. This is where her character really grows in new ways and becomes one of the most complex, interesting characters in the show. But nothing about it comes easy. The first time she's really introduced in season 5 is the second episode, where she's late to class. This shows right away she's unsure. She was probably sitting at home, trying to decide what to do. Should she even go? She wasn't motivated to be there on time. That ultimately led her to being late. Chosen picked up on her lack of certainty. While he didn't know the truth behind it, the fact he realized she was lacking motivation is a clear signal of his skill as a sensei. He ultimately tells her what she needs to hear.
If you want to break free of troubles, you must face them directly.
This is probably the best advice given on the show, since Johnny told Miguel,
Stop being so annoying. Maybe you'll stop getting your ass kicked.
you can't run from problems as they won't go away on their own. Since she doubts her own win and what Silver did, she needs to confront him directly. This also ties into what Chosen said about honor. She can only take it from herself. If she wants to have honor, she needs to at least confront him about it. This will pay off later in a big way. So that's what she does. It's one of the best written scenes we've had in a long time. Silver's blunt honesty takes her off guard. He acknowledges he can't relate to her the way Sensei Kreese did. Instead, he can show her the way the world of the elite works. She is the champion. What the world believes is what's true. It's a very different way of looking at the world, but ultimately she goes with it. The lure of being the face of the dojo has a real benefit. Everything makes sense from Tory's point of view. As someone who's struggled her whole life, success in Cobra Kai is an attractive future. The dojo is growing and she can grow right with it. Plus, as Silver pointed out, she's not some karate flunky. She did score 3 points on Sam. That's not fake. At least that's her perspective right here. It's what happens off screen next that is fascinating. Tory isn't in episode 3, but we can reasonably assume this is when she went and first visited Kreese in prison. From there, she told him about the tournament and learned the truth from Kreese that he was framed. This is where she decides to work with Kreese and try to take down Silver. Their plan is only beginning, but it is in place because what happens next is a big test of her character. After Mexico, Robbie has decided to leave Cobra Kai. He wants Tory to leave as well. Obviously, she doesn't like that choice. Now at this point, we don't know Tory hatched her deal with Kreese, so it looks like she's now fully committed to working with Silver. It ends up costing her more than she could have imagined. Robbie makes an ultimatum. He wants Tory to leave. She refuses. She's committed to Kreese and his plan. She wants to take down Silver. She lets Robbie break up with her because of that. She clearly didn't want it, but didn't know what else to do. Her bond and loyalty to Kreese has been forged over several seasons. She's going to honor that commitment. Letting someone you care about and love walk away because you don't want to let on the full truth is a hell of a moment. This is definitely a defining moment for Tory, and what's crazy is we only know it in retrospect. It'll also come back later. Episode 5 is where Kreese's plan springs into action. After letting Robbie break up with her, Tory is now all in. She wants to get the truth out. Everyone else may see Kreese as a monster, but she sees him as the one man who always stood up for her and stood by her. The show presents this note in a really sneaky way. Since we were just reintroduced to Stingray, you tend to suspect he was behind it. He knew he was lying and had no idea how to get the truth out. While it leads Daniel down a dark path, The reveal that it was Tory all along is a shocker. This was a great moment for the show, a twist that makes sense, and when you go back and think it through, you can figure out the timeline and how it all happened, as I just covered. In the second half of the season, it gets more desperate for Tory. We now know she's trying to take down Silver, but is getting worried that it's costing too much. It's dangerous. Her fears are quickly confirmed when Sensei Kim Da-Eun joins the dojo. She immediately wants to inspect the students and turns her attention to Tory. Is the supposed champion all she's cracked up to be? Her methods were harsh, and Tory clearly didn't appreciate it. She was pushed to her limits, but she did come to know Da-Eun and realize they have something in common. Da-Eun's mom died of cancer. Ever since Aisha left, Tory hasn't had any normal friends. Da-Eun is an unlikely candidate, but it turns out they have some things to bond over. She even tries to get Da-Eun to leave, but she can't explain why because she can't give away the plan. The leadership exercise is probably the best part of episode 7 and really forces Tory to grow as a person. Tory had never taken a leadership role before. In fights, she was always striking out on her own. In class, she stood by other students, but let Robbie lead. This is new for her, but it is something she must learn. They don't succeed immediately. They fail rather badly, in fact. But eventually, Tory realizes she needs to assert herself. Da-Eun is looking up to her and looking for her guidance in a fight. In their final bout, Tory could have scored a point on Sensei Kim, but instead stepped in to save Da-Eun from a no-mercy strike. When asked why she sacrificed herself to save someone she was leading, she said,
I wouldn't be a very good leader if I did.
Now compare that to Sam when she was a leader. She ran and hid, letting those she was leading get hurt. Who do you think is the better leader? Tory's last meeting with Kreese is a tragic case of changed priorities. After Kreese couldn't get a recommendation for early release, and then LaRusso showed no mercy with the vulgar message, Kreese had given up. There was nothing Tory could do to help him. He wasn't sure he could help himself. He told her to do what's best for her. Yeah, that means embracing Silver's Cobra Kai rather than sabotaging it. Tory didn't take well to that. She felt betrayed. She lied to everyone and lost her boyfriend over it. She was determined to get Kreese cleared, and now he's just walking away. Even though you can see Kreese's perspective and that he desperately wants what's best for her, you understand why she's so hurt. She decides she shouldn't trust anyone. It's a backslide. She's back to where she was early in season 4, totally on her own. At the match, the overly obvious "everyone needs to know I'm cheating" referee was too much for Tory. She didn't want to be a part of it. She took off. She has a conscience. She wants to win fair, and Silver took that away from her, so she wasn't going to be a part of it. Though we don't get any scenes with her in the interim, it's reasonable she is so confused. She's invested in Cobra Kai. Even when she was working with Kreese, it was to take out Silver so Kreese could be back in charge. She never wanted to quit Cobra Kai. She doesn't know how. It's that helplessness that leads her back for one final lesson. It was a tough one. Silver and Kim have something special for her after class. She has to break the stone. Not easy. Now at first I thought this lesson was punishment for her running off from the match. You would think that, but they don't mention it at any point. At the very least, they were questioning her loyalty. The real difference was that Robbie came and tried to talk people into leaving. It didn't work, but since they knew they were dating, it confirmed their suspicion that she was no longer committed to Cobra Kai. That is why Sensei Kim asks her about Robbie as she's going. She accuses Tory of going soft because of her feelings for him. That's when she snaps that they broke up so she could stay in the dojo. She blasts power. Back to this moment, her dedication to the dojo and getting Kreese back in charge is what led her to here. It gave her strength she didn't know she had. However, this break was frustration and anger. She gave up everything with Robbie to work with Kreese, and then lost everything with Kreese. She was back to having nothing. That nothing opened something inside. Sometimes your greatest strength is when you have nothing else to lose. That was certainly the case with Tory. Power. That power here is what also allowed her to go straight to Sam and tell the truth. Now, Sam wasn't in the best mood because Miguel was macking with another girl, but Tory was trying to put things right as only she knew. Now later, after Sam got her head on a little more straight, they were able to go into action. Silver erased the first message, but Tory's second conversation was still there in full. It's a subtle lesson going back to Chosen. Attack your troubles directly. Speak plainly. Say what you have to say. If she had tried to beat around the bush or play it safe by speaking with innuendo, then this recording would mean nothing. You never really know when something will turn out to be the right decision. You can always describe Tory as very loyal. She is loyal to whoever and whatever she is a part of at the moment. She was loyal to Robbie, except her loyalty to Kreese was even stronger. Having that thrown in her face when she seemed to lose everything proved to be her strongest, yet most painful moment in the show. What Tory needs to do in the future is keep her strength but rebuild her bonds. She got back together with Robbie, and even Sam seems willing to let the past rivalry die. This could make Tory an even more formidable fighter. She has the drive and strength of a girl with nothing to lose, but the roster of friends and backup to stand with her. You can expect greatness to come her way. I'm going to talk a little bit about Season 6 next. What will be the major plot points? Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party.